Hey all, Pete here. Down here in one of my favorite trapping spots, shooting a mink and muskrat trapping video in the middle of July. So I have to do it now because the bottom line is I'm just not going to have time once the season starts to do these water trapping videos. So I might as well do it now where it's nice and warm outside. I got my lovely, beautiful, talented wife as the camera crew with me today, and I'm not so sure she's happy about that, but she's here. Why do I have a rake? Well, I brought my rake because this is what I use to find my traps when I'm water trapping. So as you'll see in my videos today that I shoot, I don't like to do slide wires and things like that. I set a trap and I run it out to deep water, and I don't worry about it. When I come to find them, I use my rake for the wire, find the wire, pull it up, see what I got on my trap. Rakes are also really good because I can use it to test the ground in front of me while I'm walking in the creek when you can't see the bottom. So that's another thing I like about rakes. So anyway, this first video I'm going to shoot, it's going to be about 20 minutes or so. I'm going to point out a couple different spots right here. We're under a bridge, and if you watch trapping videos, everybody who traps mink talks about how good of a set it is under a bridge. And they're right. If you look over here, this is the middle of July right now, but look at all these, we've got a mink highway over here. Okay, and you can see right here, this rock with wire on it, that's what I usually wire a mink box to when I'm down here. So I just leave it there, wire it up every year, it's not a big deal. And I take some mink out of here, you know, I'm not gonna say I don't, but this isn't actually the very best spot in this little area right here. And so this is one of the things that you want to think about when you're water trapping is, you know, just because everybody says set under a bridge doesn't mean that under the bridge is going to be the best spot by that bridge. And I'm going to show you what I mean here in a second. But this is a really good spot right here for a mink box with a conibear. It's not a very good spot for a drowning set because where the mink are moving up through here, when there's snow on the ground, you can see their tracks come down these rocks, up over this log, down through this trail. They come along here. There's a little cubby right here that you can't, I don't know if the camera can get down there, but they'll explore that, right? But then usually what will happen is you'll see them explore that, and then they'll come over this rock, and they'll usually hit the water right about here. And so that's in the winter. That's in the winter when you can see where their tracks are going on the rocks and stuff. So that cubby that I just pointed out, it's kind of tough to get a conibear trap in there, and you still don't have a good drowning set because you're going to miss them. They're not coming down in the water and up through, right through here. They're coming up on the mud the way I pointed, down into that cubby and then back up over the rocks. So it's a long ways to get out to deep water. I'm in deep water right here, but a trap up in here, up on the bank over here, stuff like that, they're not going to go diving into the water right there. They're going to start fighting a trap up on the land usually. And so that's why I like conibear sets right here. I just 120 conibear in a 6-inch box. You know, I'll stuff it right there or set it right here. Throw some muskrat meat back in there, and this will produce some mink right here. Okay, so is this a good spot for mink? Yeah, but I want to show you something. I'm gonna sneak around these rocks here and get real wet, but now, if my wife can get this old sprinkler behind me, okay, this over here is a way better spot for mink. When I put a mink box where I just showed you, I might catch one in there in a 3-week period when I'm trapping in the spring, okay? But when I put something over there, last season, 3, okay? Why is that? Well, there's a whole bunch going on over there, okay? First of all, behind that sprinkler, under that rock, there's a natural cubby. Every mink in a mile is gonna come up this creek and it's gonna go into that cubby every single time. Okay, every single time they're gonna do it. Mink walk past my cubby, my mink boxes sometimes and don't go in. But every mink that comes up that creek or explores that bank is going to go explore that cubby. Then you've got this sprinkler wheel that is sort of like a natural funnel. So animals swimming up are gonna naturally kind of gravitate over towards the bank right there because this current's pretty strong out here. Animals swimming down are gonna go around it or through it and over to that. That rock with that grass growing out of it, that's a great spot for muskrat in the spring. Every muskrat that comes down that creek bank is gonna go up there and take a dump on it. Okay? So what I did or have done down here is I'll put a #1 long spring on top of that rock, and there's always muskrat crap on it in the spring. So I'll put some of the muskrat turds on the top of my trap pan and just set my trap up there. Then I'll put an 11 or another #1 in that cubby under the water. Okay? Then both of those traps, I can simply run a wire from the chain to that wheel. I don't have to use any weights or stakes or slides or anything. Okay? So I'm going to walk over there and I'm going to kind of point the stuff out from that side. I'm going to have to talk a little louder so the camera can pick me up. Now, what I can't really point out very well from over there is there are two cubbies. There's one that goes back in here, and there's one that goes back in here. What I've done the last several years here is I've put a trap in each of those cubbies, and then my muskrat trap has gone up here. The water is usually a little bit higher, not much, but a little bit. All of them I wire to this wheel. So, muskrat trap right there where they jump out of the water. There's some old muskrat crap right there. There will be more this spring. So my trap goes right there, muskrat hits the trap, jumps in the water. This is plenty deep. Okay, he gets tangled up in all that and drowns. It's a piece of cake. All right, easy set. Mink trap or muskrat trap, #1 or 11 right here. Mink explores the cubby, hits it, goes to the water. He's done. This is plenty deep out here. Look how deep this is. Third trap goes back in this cubby, and what you can't see from over there is there's a whole tunnel back under here. Okay, so it's not just a little shallow hole. This goes back 3/4 the length of my rake on this side. All right, and so there's mud back there that you can put a trap down in for mink. They hit it, they come out, and again, we're plenty deep here. And you saw them with me walking across how strong that current is right here. Okay, that's why animals coming up this, they're gonna hug this. Where the current's not as strong, they're gonna go through this. Muskrats are gonna come through here. They're gonna climb out right where there's old muskrat crap, right on that rock, and then they're gonna head on up. Mink cannot resist this right here. This is a double little cave for them to explore. Every mink that comes through here is gonna explore it every single time, okay? And then they're gonna head up their way. Animals coming from that side, they're gonna come down the creek. Again, this is really strong current right here. They're gonna hug over here, come through here. Muskrat will climb up. Mink will climb up and over and around and through, and then they'll come over here and they'll go into this cave every time. 3 mink out of here in, not even 3 weeks when I trap this stretch of creek in the spring for muskrats. So I'm going to come back over and show you one more thing on that side. Right here, there's a submerged rock. There are times that this is exposed. it's not a bad muskrat set if, depending on the water level. Now, I don't know how well you can see the rock, but there's a high spot on it here, there's a high spot on it here, and there's a low spot on it kind of here in the middle. Over here, the water isn't very deep. When this rock is exposed, there's only a couple inches of water over here. So trap placement, you can't really see too well, but I like to just, this is an example of how to screw things up. When I set this, my trap goes right in this low spot, and then I run the cable out to there on the end of a rock. See how strong that current is and how deep it is? I only have a chain and cable long enough to get to right there, because I don't want any slack, because if there's any slack, the muskrat can get up where they have traction on the ground and they'll ring out of the trap, okay? And so even though when this water's down, there's a neat little runway behind this rock that just looks natural for a passageway or something, I don't set that because unless it's with a stop loss trap, okay? Now, the problem with doing stuff like this is, see how strong that current is? That current's really strong. And moss and stuff like that's gonna come down the water, it's gonna get on your trap chain, and it's gonna pull your trap off eventually into the water. So what I like to do is I'll run the trap chain and wire down along the bottom and set some rocks on it to keep it down so that stuff doesn't gunk up on it. Once the muskrat hits that trap and jumps in the water, as long as that wire and chain isn't too long, he's gonna start fighting the trap, and he's got nowhere to go. This water stays deep and strong, so he'll go ahead and drown. But if I give him too much slack, you know, and try to set back here where it looks kind of like a natural runway in the mud when the water's only that deep, unless you're using the stop loss, you're gonna end up with a rat foot in your trap and no muskrat. So there's a lot going on in this little spot right here. But again, the takeaway from the video, yeah, a mink box up here under this bridge, it's great. It'll net me a mink, you know, every spring. But that will net me 3 and a couple muskrats. Okay, I think the last time I trapped this stretch of creek was over a year ago, because I rotate, and I caught 3 mink and 2 rats right there in just under 3 weeks. Okay, I caught 1 mink in a mink box over here, and I didn't catch anything on that side of the bridge. All right, so think about this, the animal you're trying to trap. Mink like to investigate every single little nook and cranny along the bank. Okay, muskrats, they're good swimmers, but they're gonna cavitate over or gravitate over towards slacker currents to get around things. And always look for muskrat crab. There is an old piece of muskrat crab on that rock right there from last spring. So, all right, so with that, I'm gonna shoot a couple more water videos this morning. I'm Pete. Remember, God is great, guns are good, freedom is precious. Hold on to it. Till next time.